How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final
I would never start the stream with my microphone on mute. That would never happen. I'm a professional streamer on the internet, as you guys know. Do you know who I hate at the gym more than anyone else? Do you know who the most annoying people at the gym are? It's the women who go to the gym and they don't actually go to the gym to work out. What they do is they go to the gym and they wear a sports bra and then they have their hair up, but their hair isn't tightly pulled back. Like when I go to the gym just to walk on the treadmill or whatever, like I pull my hair back into a bun and to keep it the fuck out of my face so I'm not, like sweating everywhere and it gets real gross. But like but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the women who they have their hair lightly back like this and it's just pinned up with it. It's like bitch, come on. Like it's like they're not even fucking, they're not sweating, and what they're doing, and I observe this because again I go to the gym just to like sit on the treadmill and I just like stay on the treadmill walking for right now. At least I'm working my way up to starting to do weight training again. I'm thinking very seriously about doing weight training, but for right now I'm going to the gym, sitting on the treadmill and just walking. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And as I'm doing this, you get to observe everyone in the gym. And what and there aren't very many like younger women at the gym that I go to because I go in the middle of the day. It's like a lot of older people and it's a lot of like men that come in to do like weights and stuff like that. But there really aren't like a whole like a lot of like younger women who come to the gym I'm at least not at the time I'm there. But there were two of them today and they were both doing the same thing. They both had their tits out. They both had their best push-up sports bra on and their tight pants, and they had their hair up in the loose way, so it was still kind of down, but it was up to make it look like they were gonna do something. And they just circled the gym over and occasionally they would stop at like the weights where like the men are lifting weights and they would pretend to lift weights, and I'm just like oh. I'm like, I understand they're trying to find a husband or get attention from men, and that's really all that this is. That's all that this is. I'm like, they're not like, and I watched this one woman, I swear to God, circle the gym for close to a fucking hour. And she didn't even get on any of the machines. She didn't even attempt to work out. She just kept walking around the gym with her tits out, trying to attract the attention of men. And this is not even the first time I've seen that woman do this at the gym. And it's just like, like, do you have nothing better to do with your time? You want to know why you don't have a husband? Do you want to know why you don't have a boyfriend? Because you're fucking desperate. You're desperate. You're coming to the gym. You're not even working out. You're I guess she's getting her steps in by circling the gym over and over and over again. I'm like, oh no, this is really what the world has come to. This is it. This is it. This is it. But that's not all I've been doing today. That's not all I've been doing today. You know what I've really been doing today? I have been dealing with thousands. I'm just going to show you guys a couple examples. I have been dealing with thousands of conservative retards in my replies on Twitter. And I'm just going to say it. And if you guys are disappointed with me, I don't care. I'm voting for the Democrats. I am voting straight Democrat in November. This is what the conservative retards have pushed me to. This is what the conservative retards see. We're going to get so many conservative retards. We knew you would vote Democrat because you're always a leftist and you're a communist and you're a dumb fat cunt. And we always knew you were a Democrat and we always knew you were going to do this because you're a communist and a liberal and a lefty. Is that what you're about to say, you dumb bitch? Do you want to know that I've had people like you in my replies literally for days saying that? I was committed to not voting. I was just not going to vote. I was literally just not going to vote. That was my plan. I wasn't going to vote. There's no fuck off way I was going to vote for Republicans. The midterms need to be an absolute bloodbath. This is the conclusion that I've come to. The midterms need to be an absolute fucking bloodbath for the Republicans. And I was perfectly willing for a time to just not vote for Republicans. I just wasn't going to vote at all. But now the level of absolute MAGA retardation that I have been subjected to, I am 1000% voting straight fucking Democrat. And there's nothing that you can do to change my mind. And there is no argument that you can make that will make me not do this. And I don't give a flying fuck who the Democratic candidates are. I don't give a flying fuck if they're calling for the overthrow of the federal government. I don't give a flying fuck if they're running on an open platform of queering and transing all kids. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care. Because Republicans and conservatives need to lose in a fucking blood bath. They need to lose in a bloodbath. Trumpsters and all the grifters must pay. These people must be made to suffer dearly. Because these people are the reason that the left is going to win. Conservatives and Republicans and Trump fucking supporters and MAGA retards are the reason that the left is going to win, and they are completely oblivious. They have no fucking idea what's going on because their influencers have so lied to them about who the left is and what they're doing and why it matters. They have been so misinformed by their own influencers that they are now hopelessly fucking retarded, and they cannot be allowed to be part of the conversation at all, so far as I'm concerned. If I had my way, we would literally ban every single one of these people from Twitter. Can we do that? Can we ban all Trump supporters from Twitter? Can you imagine? Can we just do a thought exercise for a moment? Can you imagine how much better Twitter would be if Elon Musk just banned all fucking Trump supporters? Can we go back to the glory days? Because these people are so hopelessly stupid. They are so hopelessly brainwashed. They are so hopelessly low IQ retarded that, in my opinion, we should not be allowing them anywhere near the public square. They need to be silenced. Now, of course, we can't actually ban all of them from Twitter. So that presents a problem. So what we need to do instead is berate and shame these people until they shut the fuck up and go away. Because if we do not do this, if these people continue to dominate the conversation, the left is going to win, and it's not even going to be, it's not even going to be difficult for them to win. The way these absolute fucking toxic retards are behaving, it is not even going to be difficult for the left to win. I have said this for years and years and years, and people didn't want to believe me and they didn't want to pay attention. But maybe now that Trump is literally doing nothing about the left, maybe people have started to wake up to the fact that I was right all along, that the right doesn't really know what they're fighting, that the right doesn't care about what they're fighting, that the right only cares about their political narrative, that Trump isn't doing fuck off to stop anything. I have said for years that we need to go through the conservative right in order to defeat the left. If for no other reason, then they're all convinced that I'm a communist, guys. Do you know how many people I have in my feed just like this? Problem. Karlyn is a communist. Commies speak with a forked tongue like the devil. This is the height of conservative and MAGA discourse. This, just days ago, I organized volunteers on the ground in over 30 fucking states collecting intelligence about what was going on at the No Kings protest, and we're bringing all that together right now, and we're working through it, and it's going to be really cool once we get it all done. Just days after I do this, conservative retards are running around Twitter saying I'm a communist. And I was protesting Trump at the No Kings protest. I wasn't organizing a massive team of volunteers to collect intelligence that these retards doesn't even know exists. I'm a communist that was protesting Trump because I'm a leftist. This is literally the height of MAGA retardation brain power, guys. I'm not a libertarian. Perhaps catch up. That would be my recommendation. Hey, thanks, Grace, for the super chat. Revenge voting 100%. Fuck these traitors. I did not vote for Evil Joe. Yeah, this is how I feel. This is a spite vote. This is a revenge vote. I want to see conservatives suffer. I don't want to just see them lose. I want to see them fucking suffer. I want to see them be ashamed of how badly they get their asses kicked in November. And by the way, none of them fucking see it coming. None of these people have any fucking idea that this is coming at all. They all think that they're winning, and they all think 100% of Republicans support Trump. They literally believe this, guys. They believe every single thing that every fucking conservative shill posts on Twitter, including, not that. Do you know that there is a massive right-wing account, and this account has me blocked, by the way? I've never even interacted with this account. Why would this account have me blocked if I've never even interacted with it? Do you know that there is a massive right-wing account spreading the abject lie that, guys, the No Kings protest was really small and it was just a couple of people? Do you know what the real protest was on Saturday? Look at this giant pro-Trump rally. I'm going to say that again. There is a massive conservative account saying that this is a pro-Trump rally that dwarfed the No Kings protest on Saturday. Let me read the tweet in case you can't see it. Shocking video is going viral, showing the contrast between a massive pro-Donald Trump rally in Washington, D.C. that the media refused to report on, and a much smaller anti-Trump No Kings protest in Chicago that was widely covered nationwide. Now, let me ask you guys this. Who was here yesterday when we watched a portion of the Chicago No Kings rally? One in the chat if you were here yesterday when we watched a portion of the Chicago No Kings rally. One in the chat if you were here yesterday, two in the chat if you weren't. Just get an idea of who's here. Okay, cool. For those people who were here yesterday, and only those people who were here yesterday, because we watched a portion of the Chicago No Kings protest yesterday. One in the chat, if this image of the No Kings protest on the right here, in which there's maybe a couple dozen people, one in the chat, if this matches with the video that we watched yesterday. Two in the chat, if this right image right here does not match with the video that we saw of the Chicago No Kings protest yesterday. So again, this is only for the people who were here yesterday and watched the Chicago No Kings protest. One in the chat if this image looks like it represents what we saw in that video. Two in the chat if, maybe that's not actually accurate. So then I got to thinking, I was like, where were the signs advertising this massive pro-Trump rally? Did anyone hear anything about a massive pro-Trump rally that was supposed to take place on Saturday? I feel like we're pretty informed people. I feel like we listen to what's going on. I feel like we pay close attention to the rallies and the protests that are happening and all that stuff. Did anyone hear anything about there's going to be a massive pro-Trump rally in Washington, D.C. on Saturday? Did anyone hear anything about that? No? No one heard anything about that anywhere? Then I have to wonder, I have to question, what is that actually from? How did they get so many people for a massive pro-Trump rally that no one even heard of prior to the event? And then I remembered something, and I think I mentioned this on a stream. Let me just change the sound over for this. You guys are going to want sound on this one. If I can find the screen I was just on. There we go. And then I remembered something. As you guys know, I was in Boston. I was in Boston for the No Kings protest. And prior to the No Kings protest, I took a walk from the Boston Common over to Copley Square because I wanted to see if there was any protesting going on in Copley Square. It's a really populated area. There's lots of bougie stores over there. So it's like if there's protesting going on, there's probably going to be something going on there. So prior to the No Kings protest on Saturday, I took a walk over and I mentioned this, I think. I ran into a whole bunch of Jews and they were obviously and clearly Jewish, on the steps of the Boston Public Library. And they were waving Iranian flags, but you can see there's an Israeli flag in the middle. And let me just play the audio of this so you guys can hear. Viva Iran, not Islamic Republic. Regime change, regime change. Change, regime change. Change, regime change. Freedom for Iran. Freedom for Iran. So you get the idea. This was a whole bunch of Jews on the steps of the Boston Public Library with an Israeli flag in the middle of it and Iranian flags around, and they're chanting regime change Iran, free Iran, regime change Iran. And I messaged this to Amalek, who knows a thing or two about how this stuff works. And I said, hey, not for nothing, but I just ran into a bunch of Jews on the steps of the Boston Public Library chanting for regime change in Iran. And Amalek messaged me back. He's like, that's really funny. Unironically, those are actually paid protesters. And I said, that actually makes a ton of sense. So some organization somewhere, and who's to say where that money is coming from, some organization somewhere is paying for these alleged pro-Iran demonstrations that really seem to be nothing more than a whole bunch of Jews chanting about regime change in Iran, holding an Israeli flag. And for some reason, I knew this was going to be important at some point. For some reason, I don't know what it was. I was like, Karlyn, this is why I mentioned it a couple times to you guys. I was like, just not for nothing, but I saw a whole bunch of Jews chanting about regime change in Iran, like on the steps of the Boston Public Library. Like, I don't know what the fuck that was about. Had nothing to do with the No Kings protest, but I don't know what that was about. I knew this was going to be important at some point. So we just like filed that away in the back pocket, and we waited until it became important. And guess what? Do you want to guess where I think this alleged pro-Trump rally came from? I'm gonna say that some Israeli Jewish organization somewhere paid a whole bunch of people to go to Washington, D.C. to have a pro-Iran protest, which they're now saying was a pro-Trump protest. That was on Saturday. That was at the No Kings protest. This is on Saturday. So literally, guys, we have come round the bend. Where it is now the alleged Trump supporters who are bussing in the paid protesters to chant pro-Iran regime change bullshit while waving an Israeli flag. And that is what is being labeled as a pro-Trump protest. It's literally a massive fuck-off group of people who've been paid to be there to do this by probably Miriam Adelson. Who the fuck knows? And that is what they are using to lie about the massive No Kings protest that happened on Saturday. I cannot even. Oh, but wait, there's more. Do you guys want to see John Doyle's latest masterpiece for The Blaze? Why nationwide No Kings protests literally don't matter. Extremely bleak for them. Can you guys see the propaganda machine? Okay, don't pay attention to this, magatards. Don't pay attention to this. This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the left got out 8 million people. What really matters is that we're regime changing Iran. That's what really matters. We're regime changing Iran. Don't pay attention to the 8 million leftists in the streets all over the country doing anti-ICE shit, organizing for things you don't even fucking know about. What really matters, guys, is that we're regime changing Iran and sending Americans to die on behalf of Israel, okay? So, for all these reasons, and for so many more reasons that I'm even going to go into in this stream, I'm voting for Democrats. And I would encourage everyone to do the same. Now, I can understand that people might not want to do this. I really can. I can understand abstaining and not voting for anyone. I can understand writing in a vote. And I think that those are both good options. If you just can't hold your nose and vote for the Democrats to make sure the Republicans get the much needed ass kicking that they fucking deserve in November, I truly and sincerely understand. I really do. And by the way, the only exception to this is James Fishback. James Fishback is fucking awesome. Vote for James Fishback. Please vote for James Fish. Please vote for that guy. That guy fucking rules. If you can vote for him, vote for him. But I really think, guys, that this is the moment that we have been waiting for to burn down the GOP and to burn down the Republican establishment. It needs to be burnt to the ground. I cannot emphasize this enough. The Republican Party and these conservative rejects have never done anything to actually fight the left. They literally, throughout all of American history, these people have never done anything to actually fight the left, with the exception of McCarthy. McCarthy is an exception. McCarthy is not the fucking rule. If all conservatives behaved like McCarthy behaved, we would have a completely different fucking country right now. Can we just do this thought exercise for a moment? Can we just say, what if maybe someone should write a TV show about this? This would make a great fucking TV show. What if we lived in a world in which every conservative behaved like McCarthy did? Can we just ponder that reality for a second? How different would America be today if every conservative behaved like McCarthy did? That would be fucking awesome. That would be fucking awesome. I think things would be much better. I think we would all have more money. I think the country would be much better off. I don't think the left would be nearly as powerful as they are today, because it would be an incredible world, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be like a world of like basically rainbows and unicorns and everyone getting a pony and all that bullshit? Be amazing. Sadly, we don't live in that world because conservatives and Trump supporters are feckless fucking retards who do nothing but whine and complain and argue and smear people and basically go after every single person that's actually trying to do something productive. That's all these people do, guys. That's all they do. They need to be silenced. They need to be made to suffer. They need to be defeated to an embarrassing fucking extent. And I am willing to facilitate that by doing my part, but to hold my nose and vote for the Democrats. And I don't give a fuck who the candidates are. I truly don't. I truly don't. This is bigger picture than one midterm election. What are we really losing? I'm sobbing. I didn't know I was subbed to an emotional libtard. Thank you. Thank you, retard. And I'm so sorry someone wasted a gifted channel membership on you. I'm so sorry for that. Thank you for demonstrating my point masterfully. And if anyone else wants to follow this retard to go back to the fucking land of retardia where you all belong, go right ahead. We're permanently banning you from the channel, so goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, unironically, unsubbing because they got their feelings hurt, thus proving every fucking thing I said. Back to my feelings, okay? What are we really losing by voting for the Democrats? Is the Trump administration accomplishing anything? Is the Trump administration fulfilling any of the promises that they made? Yo! Chris. To the fascist fund. Thanks so much, bro. Super generous super chats. Let's get a round of W's for Chris. Really appreciate you, bro. Thanks so much. What is the Trump administration actually doing? They're using our tax dollars to go to war in multiple countries. Do you guys hear Republicans are now saying they want to cut healthcare for Americans to have more money for the war on behalf of Israel? Did anyone hear this? Republicans are actually proposing that we cut healthcare for Americans to send more money over to the Middle fucking East for this fucking war in Iran on behalf of Israel. We're not getting any mass deportations. Greg Bavino was fired when he tried to do mass deportations, which now everyone knows and I think should be clear about. Greg Bavino was fired. He was forced into retirement, and I now know this for absolute certain, by the way. I now know this for absolute fucking certain. There is no doubt about it. I have gotten this information directly from a source that would know. And you can trust me or not, but I always have receipts, and you guys always fucking know I have receipts. And I don't want to reveal where I got that information right now, but I am telling you, I know directly from the source. Greg Bavino was forced to retire, and they made it look like he was just moving into another job to allow him to keep his pension and all that stuff. He was forced into retiring by the Trump administration because they didn't want to do mass deportations. That is the reason that we don't have mass deportations. It is because the Trump administration does not want to do it, to the extent they literally forced Greg Bavino out because Greg Bavino wanted to do mass deportations and had a whole fucking plan to do mass deportations. The Trump administration didn't want that. He had to go. That's what we're talking about. The Trump administration, by the way, I think Dave Smith is a massive retard. For everyone talking about Dave Smith in my chat, Dave Smith is a massive retard. He's not fucking funny. I had to pretend Dave Smith was fucking funny for years. I never thought Dave Smith was funny. Dave Smith is also afraid of me. I don't know exactly why Dave Smith is afraid of me, but Dave Smith is absolutely, definitely afraid of me. And I've told that story multiple times before. And I think Dave Smith is a fucking retard. And the fact that Dave Smith supported Trump in the election, like literally, fuck that guy. That guy should never be able to call himself a libertarian again. There were so many people in the libertarian community that was the only reason Dave Smith supported Trump was he was being spiteful because his candidate did not win the libertarian presidential nomination. That is it. It was all spite. Him, fucking Clint Russell, fucking all those fucking retards. All Josie, the redheaded MAGA grifter, all of those people, the only reason they supported Trump is they were pissed off because they wanted their candidate to be nominated to be the presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party. He lost, and they all coped by trying to burn down the Libertarian Party, essentially. So literally, fuck Dave Smith. He's not fucking funny. He never was. I don't think he's that insightful either, and he's a bitch and he's afraid of me. That's how I feel about Dave Smith. And the only reason I bring that up is everyone's talked about him in my chat, and I have no fucking clue why, but that is what I think of Dave Smith. So, yeah, Trump hasn't done anything to keep any of the promises that that people voted for. He's spending all of our fucking money in the Middle East. He is completely bent over and cucked to fucking Israel. And the conservative retards do nothing but attack people who are actually trying to be productive. And I just don't know, guys. I just don't know. I am so sick of this shit. I cannot even tell you. After years and years and years and years, I'm not talking about UFOs today. After years and years and years and years and years of me basically almost killing myself, driving myself fucking insane, consuming far left content, going into far left spaces, going undercover at more far left events that literally any single person that I know of. After years and years and years and years and years of doing this, spending all my waking hours trying to share this information with as many people as possible, just to be constantly defeated by the conservative bullshit machine that insists on lying to their own audiences. I have fucking had it. And I have fucking had it with people who are not capable of doing basic research. I have fucking had it with people who are not capable of looking at basic fucking primary source evidence. I have fucking had it with these conservative Dunning-Kruger effect retards basically saying that they know everything when in fact, when we put them up to basic questioning, they know fucking nothing. I have been harassed and defamed and fucking slandered way more by fucking Trump supporters than I ever have been by the left. That's just reality. That's just reality. I put myself out there to deliver a message in 2020 for better or worse. Completely fucking upended my life to do it. And now I am attacked, and this has been true for years and years and years and years and years, guys. Conservative fucking retards do more to try to destroy my work and slander and defame me than they ever do about the left. And I get harassed way more by conservatives than I ever have by the left. It's not even close. It's not even fucking close. I have actually been physically assaulted by MAGA supporters who thought I was Antifa because they're too fucking stupid to know what's going on. I have been defamed up and down the internet by these people over and over and over and over and over again. And let's not even talk about all the fucking photos that they Photoshop with me to harass me for my weight or any other issue because they didn't like my haircut and they felt the need to put my face on many different types of animals and things like that because they didn't like my fucking haircut. Let's just not even talk about that. The left has never done that shit to me. That has only ever come from the right. And now we're in a position where it's like, if you haven't noticed the conservative bullshit like machine over the past several days, I don't even know what to say. They're just overtly lying to people, guys. They are literally overtly lying to people. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Okay, you've been shitposting my chat the entire time. This is a question just for you. How does the left define capitalism go? The next chat you send in, you will be answering my question, or you will tell me you don't know, or we will permanently ban you from the channel. These are now the choices that you have. You think you fucking know everything? How does the left define capitalism go? If you answer anything else in your next post to me, you are going to get permanently banned from the channel. How does the left define capitalism? You have 30 seconds to answer. No one else answer. How does the left define capitalism? Do you know basic 101 level information about the left? 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, they don't? Oh no, oh no, oh no, completely wrong. Can everyone shame this retard in the chat real quick? Do you want to give it another try, retard? Do you want to give it another try? Can everyone who knows how the left defines capitalism shame this this retard in the chat? We're going to try again, bro. I'm going to give you one more time. You have 30 seconds to answer the question. They do have a definition of capitalism. It's very specific. They talk about it all the time. How does the left define capitalism? Either answer the fucking question or say, I don't know. You have two options. If you don't do that in 20 seconds, you're getting permanently banned from the channel. How does the left define capitalism, or say you don't know? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, you're not a leftist? Oh, no, that's not what I said, bro. Sorry, permanent ban, bye. Didn't follow basic instructions. Now, everyone that knows the answer, how does the left define capitalism? Everyone answer this, please, for me. Just so people think that I'm not making this shit up. How does the left define capitalism? Private property ownership, 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 private property ownership. Look at all those people who know the answer. Look at all those people who actually listen to the left that know the answer. It's an amazing thing, guys. When you actually just listen to people, they will tell you how they define it. And that definition is private property ownership. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at all the people in the chat right now who know the correct definition because they listen to the left. And if you got it right and I didn't put it on the screen, I apologize. There's a lot of chats coming in, but everyone can see the chat. And this is what we are up against, guys. We are up against a retarded fucking segment of society that believes they fucking know everything when in fact they actually know nothing. And all they do is talk on the internet all day, every day, attacking and harassing people that are actually trying to give them real information because the real information doesn't align with the conservative bullshit narrative that they are being fed by their paid off fucking influencers. These people cannot be allowed in a decision-making position. They drive away every fucking smart person that just doesn't want to deal with this shit. I think I missed your super chat, bro. I'm sorry. I kept meaning to go back and get it. Thank you so much for the super chat. The ununited states of Twitter posts. Yeah, real. 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 Primary sources are the only good source of information. That's it. Primary source only. So, I'm using this stream to work out some feelings. And we're going to watch Owen Shroyer a little bit because, listen, man, listen. I logged on to Owen's YouTube account today. I'm slowly falling in love. I really am. I'm slowly falling in love because as I was preparing today's rant in my head, I had an Owen video recommended to me in my YouTube recommendations. And the Owen video I had recommended was Gen Z and Americans under 40 are abandoning the Republican Party. And I was like, oh, we're watching that. I was like, we're watching that. That's a W from Owen. And then I went to his channel and I saw he has a couple other bangers. Not even Fox News can cover up how unpopular Trump is. I don't even think I put that one in the list of things we're watching. Hang on. We're definitely watching that one. We're definitely watching that one. And then he's also got Republicans prioritizing Jewish people and treating Christians as something or other. I don't know what that's about. Oh, wait, no, this is the other one. Conservative conference CPAC ends up being laughable failure. And then this was the big one, guys. And I'm just like, I'm so proud of Owen for posting this video. Current Trump supporters are low IQ, ignorant slaves. I was like, I was like, this is the type of energy that we need today. Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, Owen W. Yeah, this is I feel like this is the type of energy that we need today, guys. So so what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna watch some Owen, and we're gonna work out our feelings, because I know I'm not alone here. I know that I'm not alone here. I know that I'm not alone here. One in the chat if you agree with me on my assessment of Trump supporters and what is required to defeat the conservative retard machine. Two in the chat if you think I'm off base. Like, let's let me do a pulse check. One in the chat if you agree with me. Two in the chat if you think I'm off base. I keep trying to tell MAGA retards on Twitter. I keep trying to tell them. They're like, the MAGA retards come into my replies and they're like, you're a big meanie. And I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm not even mean enough to you guys. And then I try to tell them, I was like, do you understand how many people fucking hate you? Do you understand how many people wait. Oh, guys, we got another retard. New subscriber here to call you out for hosting a safe space for bitter people, whatever. Most of us probably thought you were a good journalist who couldn't be so crude. Guys, do you know that I swear on the internet and call Trump supporters massive fucking retards all the time? I don't even think I need to hold a deportation vote for you, bro. Permanent ban. Go away. I try to tell these people all the time. It's like, you have no idea how many of us fucking hate you. You have no idea how many of us hate you. You have no fucking idea how many of us are sick of this shit and would actually prefer to watch you lose and you suffer versus like wanting the Democrats to lose. I don't give a fuck about the Democrats. I truly don't. I don't care. I don't want like their policies, but I don't care. I don't think we are losing anything if the Democrats win, because Trump isn't doing any of the things I want him to do anyway. It's just, man. My priority now is watching as many conservative retards that continue to behave like unhinged fucking lunatics. I want to see as many of them suffer as possible until they learn that this behavior is not acceptable. We teach people how to treat us, guys. If we allow those low IQ losers to treat us badly without exacting some form of retribution, then they are going to continue to treat us badly and things are never going to change. They need to suffer. They need to feel pain. And I personally don't mind being the one to inflict it, if I'm being honest about it. I truly don't mind being the one to inflict it. Other people are going to inflict it too. It's not going to be just me, but if I can make these people suffer, I will fucking do it. That is how I feel about this. Anyway, we will watch some Owen, but I want to remind you guys, hey, guess what? We have a spy stream tonight. So we're going to watch Owen for a little while, for maybe about an hour and a half or so. But around 7:45 p.m. tonight, do you guys want to go inside a live leftist organizing call and just see directly what the left is doing? Who wants to do that? Who wants to actually go inside and infiltrate a live leftist, very socialist organizing call tonight at around 7:45 p.m. and to just hear directly from them what they're doing. 1 in the chat if you want to go inside a live leftist organizing call tonight. 2 in the chat if you think that sounds like a dumb idea. Who wants to spy stream tonight, guys? Listen, I said, someone asked earlier, what is the best source of information, Karlyn? I said primary source evidence. What primary source evidence means is you get it directly from the source. When we are going into leftist organizing calls and we are just listening to what they are saying, we're not disrupting them. We're not trying to cause problems. We're literally just sitting there listening to them. That is primary source evidence. You cannot dispute what they are saying because it is right in front of you. They are telling you what they think. They're telling you what they believe. They're telling you what their plans are. They're telling you what they're doing next. And tonight, we're going to listen to a group that I promise you have all heard of. Discuss their debrief from the No Kings protest and what they're going to do for May Day. Hey, thanks, Shitalogo W's in the chat for the gifted channel membership. I really do appreciate that. Guys, I'm not going to do a channel membership goal today. We did one yesterday, and we're doing a little bit lighter content. But if you want to send in some gifted channel memberships, it is a great way to support the channel. It is a great way to support the work I'm doing, because you do need to be a supporter, either on my Substack, my locals, my Patreon, my Twitter, or a YouTube channel member. And Rumble, I'm going to get you access to it as well, or a YouTube channel member, in order to have access to Spy Stream, okay? So channel membership is a great way that you can both support the channel, get access to Spy Stream, and also, keep me doing this stuff, because I'm 100% independently funded. If you really want to go the extra mile and make friends in the chat, throw out 5 gifted channel memberships. It supports the channel, and you're inviting more people into Spy Stream later on tonight. So if you guys want to do that, I would really, really appreciate it. But I'm not going to put a goal today. We met the goal yesterday, and that was awesome. We exceeded the goal yesterday. And so we're just going to have a relaxed day. But if you guys want to do that, channel memberships are a great way to do it. If you want to show your appreciation or love, that is how we're going to go. All right, let's dig into Owen, shall we? Start off with this. Not even Fox News can cover up how unpopular Trump is. Let's listen and enjoy. Mount the like button if you would be so kind.
Voters oppose action in Iran, but give U.S. military positive marks. Well, yeah, we're patriotic. We support our military, but that doesn't mean we like all the decisions that are made. So you look at some of these numbers. All voters, 42% support military action against Iran. So that is
take my supplements.
Less than majority that support the war in Iran. And I don't think that surprises anybody. But this is where it gets interesting to me. If you go down here, President Trump's job performance. Overall, 41% approval rating, 59% disapproval rating. Okay. But notice this. On foreign policy, Trump is at 38% approval rating, 62% disapprove. And on Iran specifically, 36% approval rating and 64% disapprove. So again, this is a Fox poll, and you can accept polling data, however you would like. But I see this, and it shows how unpopular this foreign policy is. And it reasserts my belief that I've stated many times, that the one thing that is swinging elections in this country is foreign policy. Now, 2024 might have been an anomaly in that phenomenon simply because Biden won on a stolen election. And then, he was the auto pen president, as they say. So it was kind of an anomaly. But no, the foreign policy during the Bush years was unpopular, so people voted for Obama. The foreign policy in the Obama years was unpopular, so people voted for Trump. It seems to be the issue that swings it. It really does. I believe it is the one issue that swings the pendulum back and forth, is foreign policy. And you can see that even people amongst Trump's base, and this is why when you see these other polls, this is why this poll stuck out to me. Because you see these other polls and they say, oh, there's overwhelming percent. There's an overwhelming percentage of people that support Trump's military actions in Iran. But when you look at the polling data, it shows that actually, no, even Trump supporters don't fully support the war in Iran. And that's why this is going to swing things back to the Democrats. And then people will say, well, why would you want to give the country back to the Democrats? Why would you want to do that? Why would the Democrats do that? There seems to be a missing element in this conversation. And it always happens in politics, to be fair. This missing element is constantly forgotten. Not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody votes like you. That is a fact of politics. So no matter how ardent of a Republican voter you are, no matter how obvious you think it is that Republicans are better than Democrats, there is someone else out there that has the exact opposite view as you, and they are going to vote. That is a fact.
It's so real.
That is an undeniable fact. So there's this weird, like, huge...
And Republicans also seem to have this idea that they can insult you over and over and over and over and over and over and over again every single time you say something they don't like. They never, by the way, no one ever argues intellectually. I've been doing this. I've been doing this leftist stuff for like 5 years, right? I've been going inside leftist trainings for 5 fucking years. I've been going undercover with them now for 4 years. I have yet to have one single person make an intellectual argument against my work. I have yet to have one single person who insults me and defames me and smears me and slanders me on Twitter all the fucking time. Not a single fucking one of them has made one intellectual argument with my work. Not one single person has ever debated me on my work, even when I've given them criticism and said, you're wrong for reason X, Y, B, and Z. There has never once been an intellectual argument in the years and years and years and years that I've been doing this. They don't argue me intellectually because they can't. And they know it. I would slaughter any fucking person on the internet in a debate about the far left. It would be a fucking... But you put any fucking internet debater in front of me on topics that I am an expert in and that I've been focusing on for years related to the far left, I will slaughter them. This is why Andrew Wilson was a massive fucking pussy and refused to debate me on the topic. Because he knows I would hand his ass to him and it wouldn't even be fucking close. So instead of making any intellectual argument at all, they harass you, they smear you, they insult you, they do every fucking thing except make an intellectual argument because they can't. And then when you say to them, I'm really fucking sick of this shit and I'm not going to vote for your guy because I am sick of your fucking bullshit, they're like, then you're a communist and this is proof you're a communist. And it's like, you know what? If I thought any of you actually cared about fighting communism, maybe I would think differently. But it's just patently obvious that none of you actually give a fuck about anything.
Hubris mentality that just because I believe the Republicans are better, they should win every election. Well, that's just not how it works. I could even agree with you that Republicans are better. That's just not how elections work. Now, this whole SAVE Act business is going to be, it could be a deciding factor in the elections. It could be. Now, I look at it, Trump is so unpopular now, I don't know. I think the Democrats could win legitimately without stealing.
I think they will win legitimately without stealing. Okay, can I make a confession? I actually think the Trump Presidential Museum looks fucking awesome. I know this is going to ruin my image, and I'm not voting for Republicans, but listen, man, I think that video of the Trump Presidential Museum actually looks fucking awesome. I think it looks grand. I think it looks like I love how they've incorporated all the White House stuff into it. I think it's very I actually like 100%. I think the fucking museum looks awful. I love that they've got the planes in there. I love that they've got a big auditorium. I love that it's can we like it looks like a dick. The building looks like a dick, and we know why it looks like a dick because men are designing it and it looks like a dick. Okay, fine, whatever. But like I think it looks fucking awesome. I'm a fan of the presidential library.
But you have to take into account all the illegal votes that they get. I mean, it's pretty clear that's how they've been able to stay in power. I think the gerrymandering, along with the illegal votes, is how Democrats are able to win. And without it, I don't know if they could win. But now it's like, no, I could see Democrats winning legitimately. But who knows what happens with the SAVE Act? That's all kind of hanging in the balance right now.
They will win legitimately.
But it's this weird idea like, oh my gosh, if you don't support Trump, the Democrats are going to win. And again, I find it flattering that you think I have more influence than Donald Trump, or name it, whoever it is that they're blaming it on. You know, they blame Tucker, they blame Fuentes, they blame Candace. You guys are going to put Democrats in charge. Like, well, it's very flattering you think we have more influence than Trump, but you understand how delusional you are?
Yeah, real.
Do you have any idea how delusional you are? This has nothing to do with any podcaster. This has nothing to do with any show host. This has everything to do with Trump breaking his promises and everything to do with Trump getting us back into the Middle East. That's what's going to cost us the election. It doesn't matter what I say. I could be out here banging the drums for Trump all day long, and then people would just look at me like I'm an idiot, I'm a phony. So I'm not going to do that. But I could do that, and it wouldn't make any difference. Carlson, Owens, Fuentes, all of them, they could all be total support of Trump. They could all say, go vote Republican. It's going to be great. And it wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't change anything. The people have already decided. The people already feel betrayed. The people are already ticked off. The people have already had enough of Trump. It has nothing to do with people that have a microphone. We are just reflections of the people. I am just a voice of America. That's all I am. I'm just America's anchorman. I'm just doing play-by-play here. So there's this weird delusional thing that they're getting ahead of this, and they're going to blame all of these members of the media when the Republicans lose the midterms. And it's like, we aren't the ones that stopped the deportations. We aren't the ones that are involved in the Middle East again. We aren't the ones spending tens of billions. It'll be hundreds of billions of dollars in the Middle East again. We aren't the ones doing that. That's your boy. That's you guys. You guys are the ones that are costing us the midterms. And so it's hilarious for you to point the fingers when everybody knows it's you.
Yep. This is so true. If you don't vote for Republicans, the communists will win is unbelievably delusional, considering the Democrats aren't commies and Republicans are doing nothing about the communists to begin with. You know what? Honestly, perhaps putting the Democrats in power, and by the way, for people who don't know, because you listen to too much conservative retard media, real communists and socialists fucking hate the Democrats. Maybe putting actual Democrats in power would do more to prevent the communists and socialists from getting what they want than if there were Republicans in power. Because again, Trump isn't doing anything about it. The Republicans aren't doing anything about it. None of them even know what the fuck is going on. So saying that if we don't vote for Republicans, communists will win, the communists are already fucking winning and Republicans control all branches of government. So how is it going to change exactly? Because I know the communists hate the Democrats actually more than they hate the Republicans. And so maybe if the Democrats controlled things, maybe that would actually be a productive step forward.
And now you've become so cringeworthy. Now you guys have become like, nobody wants to sit next to you. Like, nobody wants to be next to you guys. You guys are so embarrassing and so pathetic and so cringeworthy. Now it's like, I want to sit on the opposite side of the cafeteria as you. I don't even want to be anywhere near you guys.
Exactly.
But what about the midterms? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, what about the midterms? Good luck. You said you didn't need us.
Exactly.
That's ironic.
Exactly. How many fucking Trump voters have said, you were never going to vote for us anyway. We don't even want you to vote for us. Like, how many times have you guys seen people say this to me? And it's like, all right. Good luck, you stupid idiots. Again, Owen.
Like, nobody wants to be next to you guys. You guys are so embarrassing and so pathetic and so cringeworthy. Now it's like, I want to sit on the opposite side of the cafeteria as you. I don't even want to be anywhere near you guys.
Yup.
But what about the midterms? Yeah, good luck.
Oh, guys. Oh, here we go. This is another Trump supporter earning our votes, guys. Are you ready? You're actually pathetic. I was a supporter and you can vote for Democrats. So weird to basically streep Trump voters into dustbins. Hey, bro, let's just take a look at your channel history real quick. You were such a supporter of my work that this is your first chat ever on the channel? Wow, bro. Wow, I just don't know. I don't know how I'm going to make it. Guys, we lost Michael. I don't know how we're going to make it. Banned. Bye.
Yeah, what about the midterms? Good luck. You said you didn't need us. That's ironic. This isn't limited to the United States of America. In Argentina, very similar story. Argentina, Brazil, they ran very nationalistic, kind of anti-establishment type candidates, and they've all betrayed their voters too. They're burning Malay effigies in Argentina. They're protesting the Japanese prime minister every day.
Wow.
So this happened in America. This happened in Argentina. This happened in Japan. Strong nationalists. We're gonna help our country again. We're gonna put our country first again. And then they get in there and it's bad foreign policies, open borders, breaking all the promises. And now their voters have turned on them. So the American voters have turned on Trump that voted for him. The Argentinian voters that voted for Malay have turned on him. The Japanese voters that voted for the prime minister, they have turned on her. And it's all because they did the same thing. Now, this is where you'll have some people that always will go down this slide, and maybe it's the reality, but they all got in bed with the Israeli lobby. They all got in bed with the Israeli lobby and the Zionist agenda and turned their back on their people. I don't know if it's simple as that. I'm not going to pretend like I have the on-the-ground feel of things in Argentina. I'm not going to pretend like I have the on-the-ground feel of things in Japan. Obviously, I do in America, but I see a lot of similarities. And they keep telling you, oh, this war with Iran is great. Everybody supports it. It's got to be the most delusional thing I've ever seen. It's got to be. And they try to do this. They try to play this shell game with you. They try to play this straw man game with you. And they say, oh, well, you support Iran. You support the regime. You support the mullahs. You support the supreme leader. It's like, when did I ever say that? I don't, this has nothing to do with me. Do I look Iranian? Do I look like an Iranian? You support Iran. When did I say that? These are the straw man games that they play in this debate. But it's like, no matter where you go, where do you even find the support?
So real. Sorry, I was timing something out in the chat. Okay. I agree. Next up, well, no, let's save that one for last. I want to save that one for last. Let's watch this one. Conservative Conference CPAC ends in being a laughable failure. This is Owen Shroyer. Owen rules. So I want to watch this one specifically because, listen, the left just had a mass day of protest where they got 8 million people to come out and protest. In the largest single day protest in American history, there were over 3,200 No Kings events nationwide. That's 3,200 events nationwide. And all over conservative media, they're lying about this. They're saying the videos are AI generated. They're publishing op-eds saying, here's why this isn't really that big of a deal, guys. They are coping and seething and coping and seething. Yes, it was the largest single day protest in American history, just repeatedly. And I find this especially ironic because conservatives couldn't get a couple thousand people to come to CPAC. The big flagship conservative event in Texas. Conservatives could not get a couple thousand people to come to CPAC. The left had more events nationwide in the country on Saturday than conservatives had people at their flagship event. Really think about this. I'm going to say this again. The left held over 3,000 events nationwide on Saturday. That's events. That's not people. That's events. The right and conservative and MAGA retards couldn't get 3,000 individuals to go to the flagship conservative conference. Can we just think about how fucked up this is? That conservatives are running around Twitter saying, those 8 million people, it was all AI generated. Those were really pro-Trump protesters. They're all paid protesters. These are all Soros paid protesters. No one actually wants to do that on a Saturday. They're all paid protesters. They were all bussed into those protests. This doesn't even matter anyway. This isn't even real. Why are you even talking about this? It's like, I saw a super chat come in, but it didn't get starred for some reason. Weird. Dragon Tail, thank you so much for the super chat. The same people who've been saying the duopoly is merely two sides of the same coin are now shunning us for not voting for their side of the coin. Yeah, funny how that works. They have become the identity that they abhor. I couldn't agree more, bro. Couldn't agree more. So I want to watch this video about Owen talking about how CPAC was a massive fuck off failure and just like consider the irony of this event, the flagship conservative event, being a massive fuck off failure when all the people who probably should have been at that event are whining on Twitter going, the No Kings protest doesn't matter. It's all AI generated. It's all fake. It's all videos. And this is really a pro-Trump rally. And
Would like to see impeachment hearings. No, that was the wrong answer.
Yeah, I would like to see impeachment hearings.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you Monday? I said there would be an appetite for impeaching Trump. I said it. I was relentlessly attacked. The video went viral. Everybody attacking me, F-bombing me, calling me all these names. Bing, there it is. I was proven right again. That is at CPAC.
Mm-hmm.
That is at CPAC, and they're cheering for impeachments, folks. Oh, Trump has 100% support for MAGA. Oh, MAGA isn't dead. Oh, the coalition isn't broken. You guys don't live in reality. You don't live in reality. You're not even trying to live in reality. I told you Monday there would be an appetite for impeaching Donald Trump on the right. I have been proven right again. And so all the haters, all the people that attack me, all the Trump cultists, all the MAGA cheerleaders,
I feel this on such a deep fucking personal level. I You guys don't even know. You guys don't even know what it's like to be a fucking Cassandra on the internet. You guys don't even know what it's like to be right all the time and constantly attacked for being right when I say it because the retards don't want to hear it. And then you're attacked and all this bullshit happens and they try to fuck up your life and cancel your YouTube channel. And then a week, a month, maybe even a year later, it turns out that I was right all along. Guess what, guys? You never get an apology. When you are resoundingly attacked on the internet for saying something that is just obviously and clearly true, like, you know, people are really fucking pissed off at Trump and he can kind of go fuck himself for dragging us into another war in the Middle East. You're right. Yeah, guys, there's going to be a massive no king. Guys, do you remember when I told everyone that they were going to be organizing for May Day, like, I don't know, last year, and no one fucking listened? No homo, but Owen is a sexy beast. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Being a Cassandra on the internet sucks. There's someone whining in the chat. Oh, God. Because you're right all the time. You will eventually be proven right. It's inevitable. And yet you're going to get dragged and smeared and defamed and harassed and abused by conservative retards who don't want to fucking hear it. And when you are eventually proven right, you will never get an apology. You will never get a retraction. All that exists is that you were attacked and smeared and defamed and harassed and abused, and they'll do it again and again and again and again and again and again. Every single fucking time you say something they don't like, but when you're proven right, nope, they don't even acknowledge it.
Like, when are you going to admit that you're just wrong about everything? When are you going to admit? Because to me, this isn't about you or me. This is about saving the country.
Yeah,
this is about the United States of America having a future of peace and prosperity and freedom. That's what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the new MAGA cult, they think it's all about like infighting, and they think it's all about like popularity contests.
Oh, so
and
real.
Picking people in the
So
media that they can
real.
attack and destroy. It's
Owning
like,
the
what are
lid.
you doing? There you go. That is a CPAC. That's not me. I'm not there leading the charge. I'm not there on the stage. That is a right-wing conservative crowd cheering for Trump to be impeached. Just like I said would happen on Monday. And you attacked me for it.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you can attack me all you want, but you can't say I'm wrong.
See, and that's the thing. Again, that's the thing is like, you will eventually turn out to be right, but all they do is make personal character attacks. They never actually make intellectual arguments with what you're saying. It's always, always, always personal fucking character attacks.
Can't say I'm wrong. And this is how out of touch the administration is.
Mm-hmm.
This administration is so out of touch, you wonder how it's even possible. This is Alex Bruszewitz, who I thought would be more in touch than the rest. Quite frankly, he's a Trump advisor. I thought Alex would be more in touch with the ground level than the rest of the administration.
Kristen.
It turns out, no.
Appreciate that.
He says this, the Dave Smith-Rogan interview went pretty viral, pretty popular. He's responding to a clip here. He says, Trump's coalition isn't shattered, and Thomas Massie will never be president. He says, oh, I'm not sure what reality this guy is living in, but Massie likely won't even be able to hold on to his congressional seat in the next election. So obviously that's still months away. So I can't sit here and say for sure Massie is going to win. I would bet on Massie winning. And if he wanted to run for president, he would probably do pretty well, I would say.
No, this is a really great point. Conservatives think this is a sport. They think that owning the libs and owning everyone you disagree with just by insulting them or trying to come up with some fucking smart remark, they think that gets them points for their team. They think that every time they do the owning the libs bullshit, they win a point for their team. except that no one else is playing this game except other conservative retards. Literally every other cultural group on the internet views them as like insufferable and doesn't want to be around them. No one else is playing this bullshit game. It's just them. But they're convinced that they're in an epic battle, and if they can just own the libs enough and get enough points for owning the libs, then they're gonna win. Not reading that. Thank you. No, average person, I appreciate you.
Just, we'll have to see in the future. To say Trump's coalition isn't shattered is to not live in reality. That is just to reject reality and to just not even be interested in reality at all.
So
that is just
real.
pure propaganda, pure brainwashing, pure delusion land to say that Trump's coalition isn't shattered. It is beyond shattered. It is completely obliterated. It's done. It's over. And Trump did that, by the way. Now, we'll see what happens with Massie, but this is the same talking point. And they're all saying Massie's going to lose. Massie could never be president. It's almost like a message went out. You know, wink, wink, nod, nod.
The attacks on Thomas Massie have been probably some of the most disgusting things that have happened over the past, year and a half or so. It is mind-boggling to me the amount of abuse that Thomas Massie has endured because of Donald Trump and the conservative retards. It's fucking disgusting. Like, honestly, if I were to take all the rest out of it, the fact that Trump fired Greg Bovino because Greg Bovino wanted to do mass deportations and Trump didn't, the fact that Trump isn't doing fuck off about Antifa and the far left, the fact that Trump has betrayed us by going to war with Iran on behalf of Israel, just like take all that other shit that I have a problem with and put it on the side for a second. What they've done to Thomas Massie is so fucking disgusting that alone would be reasons to not vote for Republicans unless you're in Thomas Massie's district and you're voting for Thomas Massie, or you're voting for James Fishback in Florida. Those are the only two acceptable Republicans to vote for, so far as I'm concerned. What they've done to Thomas Massie is fucking reprehensible. Thomas Massie is like the best person in Congress. And the things that Trump has said about him, the things that Trump supporters have said about him, Dan Bongino was just bitching and complaining. Like, Thomas Massie needs to fucking win so he can give the middle finger to all of them, honestly. You donated 100 to Thomas Massie last night? Yeah, he needs to win. Big time.
Message went out to attack Thomas Massie again. And then Trump doesn't even get good information. I'll save this for the Trump clips coming up. Trump goes on air yesterday and says, Thomas Massie doesn't vote with me. Thomas Massie does vote with you. I'll save that for later. So they don't even live in reality. They're not even telling Trump the truth. Maybe they know it, maybe they don't. Like, who's telling President Trump that Thomas Massie isn't voting with Republicans on these bills? He is. He actually, he co-sponsored one of the bills. And Trump comes out and says he didn't vote for the bill. He co-sponsored the bill. Who is telling Trump this? The Trump coalition isn't shattered. They just cheered for impeaching Donald Trump at CPAC. Do you want to check again? How is this administration so out of touch with reality?
Yeah, real.
I don't think you can claim ignorance anymore. I don't think you can really claim, we're trying to do morale boosting here. No, you guys are just blatantly, intentionally out of touch with reality. Now, we got some things from both sides. Let's go to a couple clips here from CPAC. So this is a young guy asked about the war.
I think they would get destroyed in the midterms. I get the vibe. A lot of people I knew who just voted for Trump because they thought it was cool in like high school, or just now just being like, I can't stand the guy. I think they would get.
Yeah. That's how a lot of young Americans feel. That's basically men under the age of 40. They can't stand the guy. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious. Anybody that has any social life at all knows how obvious that is. Now you go to a boomer and listen to how out of touch the boomer is.
He is the president of peace. So this is to bring peace in the area. When this
Notice the young guy here laughing. He's the president of peace. What world do you live in? We're literally at war. You could argue he started multiple wars. He's the president of peace. There's war breaking out all over the planet, lady. I'm sorry. These people don't live in reality. He's the president of peace. Yes, and Joe Biden is a Iron Man. Joe Biden is going to be competing in the triathlon this weekend, and President Trump is the president of peace. That's how ridiculous you sound. That is how outrageously out of touch with reality you are to say Trump is the president of peace. Listen to this outrageous claim here and watch the young guy behind laughing at how dumb these people sound.
he is the president of peace. So this is to bring peace in the area. When this gets taken care of, it's going to be peace. And it's, well, I believe, I'm on True Social. That's the only social media I do.
Oh my God!
I guess that explains a lot.
And I believe that he's going to have, bring peace, and it's going to be very short. And he's got a plan. He's a genius. And we trust President Trump. All of us trust President Trump. He is a president.
I shouldn't be laughing. It's painfully ignorant. It's painfully propagandized, but there it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to the young guy, he's like, yeah,
and oh shit, is that it?
How many of you
High school. Or,
out of touch with reality. It's painfully propagandized, but there it is.
That's the other clip. I saw a chat I wanted to respond to. Yeah. Explains a lot, right? Yeah. And if you guys haven't been to CPAC, that is really what most of the people at CPAC are like. Like, honestly, okay, I mean, I'm sure they're very nice people. I'm sure they mean well. They have been completely made retarded by conservative propaganda, though. And if someone is really spending all their time on fucking Truth Social, I don't even know what to tell you. I go on Truth Social every now and again, just to see what's going on. I was on there when Nick was thinking about doing the Groyper War on there, and then that didn't work out because there's nothing going on fucking Truth Social. And it's just like, it really is a whole universe of just like absolute low level retarded bullshit that is just not hinged into reality in any way, shape, or form. And that is who is currently controlling the Republican Party. And they're so committed to their cause that they couldn't get a couple thousand of them to show up at CPAC at the same time. It's just like, bro, I don't even know what to say. All right, let's watch this clip from Owen about Gen Z and Americans under 40 are now abandoning the Republican Party. Oh, where's Sam? Where's
America's war? What you say to some Republican people who say, well, this is Israel's war, it shouldn't be America's war?
That's not so. Israel is God's people. Those that bless Israel will be blessed. Those that curse Israel, they better watch out.
What you say to some...
Oh, yeah, that's going to help win votes. That's what young Americans are wanting to hear. You're a younger Republican voter, a younger conservative, American patriot, nationalist, whatever you want to call it. You've already seen how Trump has completely gone sideways as far as the campaign and then the administration results are concerned. So you're already a little, you're already not so feeling, you're not feeling so hot about right-wing politics. So this is why CPAC was really low in attendance this year. And I think there's other factors. I think the economy is bad. I think that traveling is a pain in the butt. And so people just opted not to go. So you've got the betrayal of Trump, the economy's bad, and traveling is a headache.
So okay, let's just think about this for a second. Let's think about this. Hang on, we got a super chat from Average Person. Can you give the super chat to APAC on my behalf and totally not towards a new purse or left? No, I'll make sure APAC gets that check. I'll make sure APAC gets that check. Thank you, I appreciate it. Can we remember back a couple months to January? And it was really fucking cold in Minnesota. And even though it was 20 degrees below zero, do you guys remember there was frostbite warnings on January 23rd, the big day in which hundreds of thousands of people descended on Minneapolis. And do you guys remember what conservatives were saying leading up to that? They were like, no one's even gonna go. It's too cold. Why would anyone go out in the cold? These are just paid protesters. No one's gonna show up to anything. And then over 100,000 people showed up in Minneapolis in 20-degree below weather to march all day outside in protest and shut down the economy in Minnesota. Does anyone remember that? So let's just think about this. Conservatives won't go to their flagship organizing event to have discussions about organizing in the future of the Republican Party. They won't go to that because they're like, I have to get on a plane and I really just don't want to pack a suitcase and leave the house. And then you have leftists that are literally going out not even just on January 23rd, every single fucking day in Minneapolis in 20-degree below weather. And we were like, oh, we all thought that the cold might stop them at first. The cold never stopped them. It never stopped them. They just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, this in a nutshell tells you why the left will win and the right will lose. The left will literally do what is required to achieve their goals. The right, if there's just a minor inconvenience, I don't really want to leave my house. It's too far. I don't want to. I have to get on a plane and it sounds like a waste of time. What's really going to be accomplished anyway? That is the difference between the left and the right.
All three of these things combined, you've got really low energy, low turnout at CPAC. But let's say you go.
We have jobs.
Let's say you go. You're a younger guy. You're one of these swing voters. And this is what you get. This is what's represented now in the Republican Party. You want to know why morale is low? You want to know why young people are out and frustrated? This is what you get now from the right wing.
What you say to some Republicans?
Hang on. We got a super chat from Dragontail. If there is no separation between church and state, then maybe Islam will dictate our foreign policy next, or Catholicism, or perhaps which absorbs Zion. Well, in theory, absorbs Zionism, but who's really to say how they feel about Zionism, I suppose, on any given day? Thank you so much for the super chat, Dragontail. I really do appreciate it. Guys, I want to remind you that in about 45 minutes, we're going to be going into Spy Stream. And so in order to join us for Spy Stream tonight, you do need to be a channel member or a Substack supporter or a supporter on Locals Patreon or Twitter. In any of those places, if you have not yet found the information for Spy Stream, I have posted it out to all of those platforms. I hope you guys will consider joining us to go inside a live leftist organizing call around 7:45 tonight. It will be a supporter exclusive. So please make sure you got your channel membership or anything before then. Hey, thanks, Illustration Station. We are so back, Golden Age. Yeah, real. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it.
People say, well, this is Israel's war. It shouldn't be America's war.
That's not so. Israel is God's people. Those that bless Israel will be blessed. Those that curse Israel, they better watch out.
What you say to some...
Oh, yeah, that's going to help win votes. That's what young Americans are wanting to hear. That's the exact type of right-wing, conservative, neocon mindset slop that is pushing people off the Republican Party. That is almost literally the exact messaging that is going to push young conservatives, independents, right back to either not voting, independent, or Democrat.
Hey, W
is something
Liberty.
like that. And, I find this funny. Because let's actually look at this from a strategic standpoint, because this is politics after all. And you do have to win elections in this country. Whether you believe that they're legitimate or not, put that aside. You do have to have some strategy here. If that's your messaging for right-wing politics, you're out. Your strategy, cooked. Not going to win anything. But you might say, well, who is he talking to? Who is he talking to here? Who wants to hear that message? Where is this message landing, and who is it driving to right-wing politics? Who does it represent even? Why do I say that? Well, because you have this other messaging coming out of CPAC, and they say, we have to be catering to the Hispanic.
Thanks, Nerd, for the super chat. I heard that MAGA's biggest complaint now is Christy. Well, yeah. I almost talked about Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband today, and I think the whole thing's pretty fucking funny, and I'm not surprised at all. That's my opinion on Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband. Thanks so much for the super chat.
Vote. There was a former representative, Mayra Flores. This is one of the viral clips. It's one of the very few viral clips that comes out of CPAC. Mayra Flores says we need to be catering to the Hispanic vote if Republicans want to win. And there's kind of this big backlash from that. And it's kind of this identity politics angle that's not supposed to be in right-wing politics.
I think that this is a really excellent point. It's crazy that the weather doesn't stop conservatives from hunting or camping or hiking or blue-collar work, but draws the line at politics, with the exception of January 6th, in which they didn't really do anything. I think it's a very, very, very solid point, bro. Thank you.
Hey, that's the diversity angle. That's for liberal left politics. And yet, there is a real strategy there. There's a real strategy. So you say, okay, we're thinking strategically here for the midterms. We've got Hispanic voters over here that actually represent a very large voting bloc that actually help tilt the table here in favor of the Republicans in the last election. So you might not want to hear it. There is a reason for that messaging. There is a strategy behind trying to win Hispanic voters that might traditionally lean left, but now might be thinking about traditionally leaning right. Well, now you get into policies like deportations and such, but that stuff doesn't even necessarily matter as much. That's just more media interpretation. So then you've got the war angle. So you'll have, watch, because this is how it's going to play out. And this is why Republicans are so pathetic, and this is why they sell out. So you'll see the Republicans adopt this. And they'll say, well, strategically, it makes sense. Here's the numbers. So, okay, what do we need to do then? What do we need to do to cater to Hispanic voters to win elections? You say there's a percentage here, there's a strategy here, we can deliver a victory. Okay. This is a net positive strategy for us politically. Then you have the war, and then you have Israel's interest. This is a net negative. This is a net negative politically. There is no strategic victory here. All this does is hurt you politically. Whether you take the war angle, whether you take the Israel angle, all of this is negative stuff. And so you could come out and say, hey, we need to cater more to the anti-war vote. We need to cater more to this rejection of foreign policy that is represented by multiple generations now. We need to be catering more to the younger generations that don't like this foreign policy. We need to be catering more to the anti-war vote, because strategically that will deliver victories. And that is also true, but they will never sacrifice that. They would never sacrifice that. And you could argue either one of these strategies would pretty much yield the same results politically. And they'll actually do it. They'll do everything to cater to Hispanic voters now. They'll do commercials in Spanish. You know, they'll bring a mariachi band to a speech. They'll tell you how much they, you know, love a sombrero and tacos. And they'll say, this is good strategy. We can win elections with Hispanic voters. Okay. Hey, what about the anti-war voters? Not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the people that are sick of foreign?
Was anyone else? I know exactly what clip he's talking about with Maya Flores, where she was like, "You have to cater to Hispanic voters," and I was like, "Oh, so we're playing identity politics now? Oh, okay, conservatives are playing identity politics now. Oh, now we have to cater to Hispanics and blacks and you know, immigrants and all this stuff. Now we have to cater to all these people. When are you going to cater to the people who just didn't want you to go to war? Like, when are you going to cater to those people? When are you going to cater to the people that literally just want you to deport all the fucking immigrants? When are you going to cater to the people that that just want you to actually do something about Antifa? When are you going to cater to any of us? When are you going to cater to, like, Americans who actually just want you to put Americans before Israelis? When is that going to happen? When are we going to play that game? Because, like, I don't know, man. I don't particularly think that any identity group should be catered to except for, I don't know, Americans that are like, okay, listen, this may get me in some trouble. This may get me in some trouble. If you and your family just arrived here and you don't speak fucking English and you're selling Mexican food on the side of the road or something, listen, I'll stop. I'll buy your fucking Mexican food. I'm sure it's really great. I do not want people catering to you politically because you do not speak English and you have done nothing to assimilate to this country at all. And so why are we catering to you? You should be thanking your lucky stars that you are here, and you should be trying to do your best to assimilate to America. And if you are unwilling to do that, and you are unwilling to appreciate the gift that you have been given by even being allowed in this country in the fucking first place, then we should not be catering to you.
Influence and this disastrous foreign policy. Can't do it. That is a no-go. And then what happens? We sit here and we watch the Republican Party turn into diversity, equity, and inclusion to win elections, but continue to fail on policy. So what else did you see at CPAC? The one thing that I heard more than anything was it was like an old folks home. And then the other thing I heard was it was like an Iran rally. Now, this is the girl who did the half-naked shuffle for the war in Iran, and then whose cousin died. This is your favorite Iranian baddie, is how she describes it. She's your favorite Iranian baddie. This is part of the Prince Pavli speech. So that's a foreign flag. They're cheering for a foreign country.
Yo!
Prince Reza Pahlavi.
Hans gifting out 10 channel memberships like a champion. W, Hans. Really appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much for the support. Welcome to all the new channel members. You guys are going to be able to put those channel memberships to good use tonight. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. But let's finish watching this clip, and then I'll explain what we're going to do with the channel memberships.
So those are the two reviews I got. It was like an old folks home, and then it was like an Iran rally. A bunch of Persians, Iranians running around with Iran flags, speaking foreign languages, and they were all there to see the crown prince. That's good. That's some good conservative political action right
Yeah.
there.
The Crown Prince of Iran. Yeah, I agree. All right, guys, we have one more Owen video that I would like to watch for today, and that is the video titled, Current Trump Supporters Are Low IQ Ignorant Slaves. I feel like I saved the best Owen video for last. I really feel like this is going to be the cherry on top of our little time together tonight, where we're complaining about all the bullshit that we have to endure trying to be even in the peripheral of conservative politics, because I don't consider myself to be in politics. I study the far left. For people who might be new to me, I study the far left. I go inside their events. I go undercover with them. I collect intelligence. I tell you what the left is going to do next. I tell you what's going to come next, months or sometimes even years ahead of when conservative influencers know what's going on. I study the left. I am fucking apolitical. I hate all politics. And so that I don't consider myself to be a part of conservative politics. I don't want to be a part of conservative politics. I am my own entity outside of the thing. However, I do have to play on the periphery of this, and so them's the ropes, because that is what I do. Anyway. Before we get into this, I want to remind people that we will be doing something far more productive than this in around half an hour, when we are going to be going inside a live leftist organizing call. This is going to be an organizing call with a group that I promise you have all heard of. And we're going to be listening to their debrief from May Day. We're going to be listening to how they felt about it. And we're going to be their debrief from No Kings. And we're going to be listening to what they have planned for May Day. This is a live organizing call. We are watching it live. That is what SpyStream is. SpyStream is a supporter exclusive where I take you inside leftist organizing calls and we listen to them, and we listen to what they talk about when they think people like us are not listening. In order to come to SpyStream, you need to be a supporter on one of the following platforms. You need to be a supporter on my Substack, Karlyn, Karlyn.substack.com. You could be a supporter of my locals. You could be a supporter of my Patreon. You could be a supporter on my Twitter. But for our purposes at the moment, because most of you are going to come from YouTube channel memberships, if you have a YouTube channel membership, if you were one of the lucky people who just got one from Hans or got one from Liberty earlier, or I think Chitalago earlier, if you have gotten a gifted channel membership today, you might be saying, Karlyn, how do I use that to come to SpyStream? Here's what you do. You go to my channel homepage. You click on the post tab. When you are a channel member, the very first post that you will see on the post tab will be the link to SpyStream. If you are a channel member over on Rumble, literally just hang out. You guys will get access to the stream as well. So if you just got gifted that YouTube channel membership, or you got gifted it yesterday, or maybe like over the weekend or something like that, and you don't know how to use them, I would highly recommend coming to SpyStream tonight, where you can see directly what the left is saying. This is not me interpreting it. This is not me providing you with my analysis of it. This is literally just, we are going to watch them and listen to them. This is what primary source evidence means. So that is what we're going to be doing when we are done this stream. We're going to be far more productive than we are being right now. And again, if you are looking for that information, you can find it on Substack. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Locals, Patreon, or Twitter and Rumble. You guys just hang out and you will be all set. But before we get into that, the last Owen clip for today, for our cope stream with how utterly retarded the world is. Current Trump supporters are low IQ, ignorant slaves, from Owen Shroyer. Let's enjoy.
Order now is very low IQ. They're not very politically informed people. They don't really have much political context. They're pretty much geopolitically ignorant. And so you see the average Trump supporter now it's like the lowest IQ base I've seen in politics. I mean, it rivals the Biden support, to be honest. It's like the Biden supporters kind of knew that they were playing a game. The Biden supporters kind of knew it was all kind of an act. And they kind of knew it.
I just say, like, I love Owen Shroyer for this video. I think I just fell in love with him calling Trump supporters low. Can we just watch that again? Can we just enjoy that entire first I'm literally in love right now. You guys don't even know.
The average Trump supporter now is very low IQ. They're not very politically informed people. They don't really have much political context. They're pretty much geopolitically ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see the average Trump supporter now it's like the lowest IQ base I've seen in politics. I mean, it rivals the Biden support, to be honest. It's like the Biden supporters kind of knew that they were playing a game. The Biden supporters kind of knew it was all kind of an act. And they kind of knew it deep down. These Trump supporters really believe it. And so now that actual political intellectuals and philosophers, however you want to say it, that supported Trump, now that they're off the Trump train, the average IQ has dropped into the double digits now.
So
and
true.
So you can see it. So you have to explain these concepts because this is how dumb they are. You don't support Trump, so you're a liberal. You realize, okay, supporting Trump is not a policy. You realize that?
No,
that's not a policy.
No, they don't realize that.
You're talking about a cult of personality. Supporting Trump is not a policy. And if you want to look at the policies of Trump, quite frankly, they're more leftist, more globalist than they are conservative and nationalist. That is just a fact. I see Trump up there. I've got the clip today. And he's talking about saving money. Is this a joke? Saving money? Bro, you've put the country in more debt than any other president. It's not even close. It's there. You don't even have a close second. And you're talking about how you're saving the country money? Like, is that a joke? Does he even know what he's saying? Does he even know the numbers? So he's not conservative. There's nothing conservative. You say, well, he's secured the border. Well, why is that a conservative thing? Isn't that basic law enforcement?
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that basic national
Exactly. Someone said that to me the other day when I was complaining about there being no mass deportations, and they were like, do you give Trump any credit for securing the border? And I'm just like, isn't that his fucking job? Isn't that like literally his fucking job? Isn't that like, this is like basic? Like, why does DHS even exist if we're not securing the border? Like, if you're not going to secure the border, can you abolish the agency that is in charge of fucking securing the border? Like, why isn't it like, why are we giving people extra? This is, you know what? This is like when a waitress at a restaurant like shows up and she might deliver you the food, but she's really fucking rude to you. And like, you don't like, the food came out fucking cold and you tried to like talk to her about it and she was a bitch. And then it's like, she expects a tip after that. And it's like, no, you're not getting a tip, honey. No. And I'm a very generous tipper, just to be really clear. I actually am very, very generous when I'm tipping service industry employees. But if you are a waitress and you bring me my food cold and then you're a bitch and you ignore the fact that I want more water or coffee and I try to get my food heated up and then you're a bitch about it again, you are not getting a tip just for delivering the food. That is like the basic fucking function of your fucking job. And I kind of feel the same way about Trump. Like, if you're saying like you should get extra credit for doing the basic function of your job, while you are also at the same time stabbing all of us in the back by not doing mass deportations, not doing fuck off about the left, not like going to war with fucking Iran. You don't get points for doing the basic aspects of your job when you are literally fucking everything else up.
Security, I guess it's a conservative thing now. There's no conservative economic policy. There's no nationalist foreign policy. It's globalism now. Trump's a globalist.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is definitively a globalist. And I don't know if I would say he's a liberal, but he's not a conservative. You don't support Trump, so you're a liberal. Supporting Trump is not a policy. If you want to talk about policy, then we can talk about policy. But you guys can't talk about policy. You're not smart enough. All you know is Trump. That is it. All you know is Trump and different ways to massage him and clean up after him and worship him and obsess with him. That's all you guys know. And none of that is policy. That's cheerleading. That's cultish. So anyway, all of that to say, I'm just curious. I suppose I can look at the chat here. Like I said, I wasn't like shocked, but in the moment it was kind of wow, this is really where we're at. When the three boomers on the panel agreed with the three millennials that Trump betrayed us and we're not happy with the administration, it's just like everywhere I go. And that's not to say there aren't people that still support Trump. That's not to say I don't know people that still support Trump. But it's like everywhere I go, the support is way down. Everyone I talk to, the support is way down. And the people that do still support him, you know, that's fine. But you can tell they're kind of like, they're like reluctant about it. They're hesitant. They're not exactly proud. You know, their chest isn't up and out. It's like, yeah, I still support Trump. It's like, yeah, you know, well. It's like, yeah, at least he's not a Democrat. It's like, well, you know, the Republicans are better than Democrats. Like, oh, well, you know, we got to let him finish the job. So then I see, they say 100% support from MAGA. It's like you haven't seen a poll that rigged in your life. You have never seen a faker poll in your life.
I can't. I just can't get over the fact that after years of saying polls are fake, 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 all of a sudden an obviously fake poll comes out that says 100% of Republicans support Trump. And you don't look at that and go, well, that seems a little unlikely. That doesn't seem real. If after years of saying polls are fake, fake news, polls are fake news, polls, and then you see the 100% of Trump supporters support Trump poll, it's like, and you think that's real, but the other ones are fake? Okay. Yeah, it actually doesn't make a fucking difference, you fucking retard. It doesn't make a difference. Do you know how they did that poll? They called people, they said, hey, do you support Trump? And the person answered yes. And then they asked them again, hey, do you support Trump? And they answered yes again. That's how they did that poll.
Then 100% MAGA supports Trump's war in Iran. And it's funny because I will bring up these other polls here in a second. And you can tell they're massaging the messaging, because when you actually crunch the data, you realize that the messaging doesn't make any sense. So I suppose we can get into it now. But before I do that, what did I say yesterday? Or, I'm sorry. It was Tuesday. Who remembers? Oh, I'm getting distracted by opening day stuff. Good for you guys if you're at opening day. Have fun out there. I shouldn't look at my phone, but it was my dad rubbing it in. We used to go to opening day together.
Owen is distracted by baseball in the same way that I'm distracted by whatnot. That's rather endearing.
Sorry for the distraction. I blame my father. Are you listening? Is my dad listening to the show? At the ball game? That's pretty cool, actually. So, okay, let me get back on track. What was my opening monologue on Tuesday? Who remembers? Class, listen up, class. Who remembers the opening monologue from Tuesday? What did I tell you? I said that morale on the Hill was down. Now, I talked about it in 3 separate groups, but one of the groups I talked about was on the Hill, the Republicans on the Hill. And I told you in my opening monologue Tuesday that morale was down. Now, this story pops in Politico today. I just want to go home. Despair settles over the Capitol as DHS deal hopes evaporate. Raw feelings have replaced the optimism that sprouted up around bipartisan talks earlier this week. And these quotes, like this one in the lead, I just want to go home, that's from a Republican. And they said an unnamed Republican. And so this whole story is about how frustrated and sick of it the Republicans are. They don't want to be there. Their morale is low. Now, what did I tell you? I told you this Tuesday, guys. And I told you again, I'm not sitting here trying to act like I've got some top special sources and stuff like that. I don't lean on my sources. I don't rely on my sources. But I told you Tuesday that, you know, I reached out to some people that are in the know. I reached out to some people that I know can give me the real deal about what's going on right now. And they all said the same thing. They all said morale is low. They all said the whole Republican Party is scared to death of Trump. They're scared that they'll try to Massie him if they say anything negative. They're scared their campaign funding will get cut off. They're scared Marian Adelson will put $20 million in a race to have them unseated. So they're all scared of Trump. They don't even know what to do as far as policy with the votes and the war. They know it's all unpopular. They don't know what to do. I told you morale was down. And now 2 days later, Politico is publishing the same story. So we know what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we're talking about here. Now, here's the polls. And this is a Fox News poll.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like I so feel this, Chad. Never in my life did I ever think I would genuinely say, do you think I was born yesterday, and mean it as much as I do right now? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel that in my soul, bro. Thank you for that.
So it's not like you can claim that this is some leftist rigged poll, which, you know, nowadays, whatever you think about polling, sometimes they like a CNN poll, sometimes they don't. Polling data, you know, it is what it is. I prefer real world polling data, but it has some value, or otherwise they wouldn't do it. Fox News poll: voters oppose action in Iran, but give U.S. military positive marks. Well, yeah, we're patriotic. We support our military, but that doesn't mean we like all the decisions that are made. So you look at some of these numbers. All voters, 42% support military action against Iran. So that is a less than majority that support the war in Iran. And I don't think that surprises anybody. But this is where it gets interesting to me. If you go down here, President Trump's job performance. Overall, 41% approval rating, 59% disapproval rating. Okay. But notice this. On foreign policy, Trump is at 38% approval rating, 62% disapprove. And on Iran, specifically, 36% approval rating and 64% disapprove. So again, this is a Fox poll, and you can accept polling data, you know, however you would like. But I see this, and it shows how unpopular this foreign policy is. And it reasserts my belief that I've stated many times, that the one thing that is swinging elections in this country is foreign policy. Now, 2024 might have been an anomaly in that phenomenon simply because Biden won on a stolen election, and then, you know, he was the auto pen president, as they say. So it was kind of an anomaly. But no, the foreign policy during the Bush years was unpopular, so people voted for Obama. The foreign policy in the Obama years was unpopular, so people voted for Trump. It seems to be the issue that swings it. It really does. I believe it is the one issue that swings the pendulum back and forth is foreign policy. And you can see that even people amongst Trump's base, and this is why when you see these other polls, this is why this poll stuck out to me. Because you see these other polls and they say, oh, there's overwhelming percent. There's an overwhelming percentage of people that support Trump's military actions in Iran. But when you look at the polling data, it shows that actually, no, even Trump supporters don't fully support the war in Iran. And that's why this is going to swing things back to the Democrats. And then people will say, well, why would you want to give the country back to the Democrats? Why would you want to do that? Why would the Democrats do this?
Because the right needs to suffer until they learn to stop fucking around. That's why.
There seems to be a missing element in this conversation. And it always happens in politics, to be fair. This missing element is constantly forgotten. Not everybody thinks like you.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody votes like you. That is a fact of politics. So no matter how ardent of a Republican voter you are, no matter how obvious you think it is that Republicans are better than Democrats, there is someone else out there that has the exact opposite view as you, and they are going to vote. That is a fact. That is an undeniable fact. So there's this weird, like, hubris mentality that just because I believe the Republicans are better, they should win every election. Well, that's just not how it works. I could even agree with you that Republicans are better. That's just not how elections work.
Yo, that was really great because like that the end of that clip was the start of the first one that we watched, and so I feel like we came around there. We came around. Yup. Damn, Owen Shroyer is like on fire lately. I love what he's doing. I think it's really great, and it makes me feel a little bit better. It makes me feel a little bit less lonely in the world. It makes me feel a little less misunderstood. That there is at least one other person out there that sees what I see, besides the people in my audience, of course. And honestly, the fact that Owen has so many followers and that like people like love him so much, honestly, that gives me hope, because if he's coming in out and telling his audience, y'all are acting like a bunch of low IQ fucking retards, like cut that shit out. Like that again, it's like maybe Owen Shroyer is the hero we need. Maybe that's it. Yeah, we need to let off some steam. All right, guys, I'm shutting down this stream. We're going to take a little bit of a break. In about 10 minutes, I will be going live for Spy Stream, so make sure you're a channel member or a Substack supporter or a supporter on another platform, whichever. If you want to join us for Spy Stream, we are going inside a live leftist organizing call tonight, and we're going to see what they're saying live. And as a reminder, if you are a YouTube channel member, the way that you get to Spy Stream is you go to my channel homepage, you click on the post tab. The very first post in the post tab when you are a channel member will tell you how to get to Spy Stream. I will see you guys on the other side. Take care. I will see you soon.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer. people dislike me because I am not completely liked.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.